Hello, and my name is Dunnigan, and welcome to my presentation on understanding English learners and structured English immersion in Arizona. Professional development for Arizona teachers. In Arizona, an English learner is a student acquiring English and has a primary language other than English. Specifically, according to Arizona's Department of Education, an English learner is a student who speaks a language other than English at home and has been identified through a state-approved language proficiency assessment as having limited English proficiency. These students require specialized language instruction services to develop their English skills and meet the state's academic standards. The identification process typically involves a home language survey and an English language proficiency test, ensuring English learners receive the necessary support to succeed academically while learning English. Recent data shows that Arizona's pre-kindergarten to 12th grade English learner population is diverse and significant. Demographically, most English learner students are of Hispanic or Latin origin, with Spanish being the most commonly spoken home language. Other home languages include indigenous languages like Navajo and languages from various immigrant and refugee communities, such as Arabic, Somali, and Vietnamese. The English learner population is distributed across urban and rural areas, with higher concentrations in urban districts. This diverse linguistic and cultural background represents opportunities and challenges for educators in providing effective language support services. Structured English immersion in Arizona is an educational approach designed to help English learners develop proficiency in English rapidly and effectively. Structured English immersion programs typically involve intensive English language instruction for a designated period, usually 1 year, to transition students into mainstream classrooms as quickly as possible. In Arizona, structured English immersion is characterized by a 4-hour daily block of English language development where students receive explicit instruction in English grammar, vocabulary, and conversational skills. Unlike sheltered English instruction, which integrates content and language learning and is often used with core academic subjects, structured English immersion focuses primarily on English language acquisition. Students transition to mainstream classrooms after the initial structured English immersion period with continued English language English language development support as needed. This approach aims to accelerate English proficiency while ensuring English learners can access the core curriculum alongside their peers. Arizona's language development approach is designed to support English learners effectively and is grounded in four fundamental principles. First, the approach emphasizes the importance of explicit and systematic language instruction, ensuring that English learners receive direct teaching in the structures and vocabulary of English. Second, it advocates for integrated language and content instruction, where English learners learn academic subjects while simultaneously developing their English skills. Third, the approach promotes meaningful and relevant learning experiences that connect to students' backgrounds and interests, making language learning more engaging and effective. Lastly, it underscores the need for safe, supportive learning environments, encouraging risk-taking and language practice. Research synthesis around English learners indicates that these principles are crucial for their academic success. Studies have shown that structured, content-integrated language instruction improves linguistic and academic outcomes. Additionally, culturally responsive teaching and supportive classroom environments have been found to enhance English learners' engagement and achievement, highlighting the importance of a holistic approach to language development. Arizona's English learner policies are informed by key research findings, emphasizing integrating language development with content instruction and supporting students' emotional well-being and confidence. Studies have shown that a balanced approach, combining content teaching with targeted language instruction, leads to better academic outcomes for English learning students. This integration allows students to learn English in the context of their academic subjects, making language learning more meaningful and applicable. Additionally, research underscores the significance of addressing English learner students' socio-emotional needs. A supportive learning environment that fosters students' emotional well-being and confidence can enhance their engagement and motivation, ultimately accelerating language acquisition and academic success. Therefore, Arizona's English learner policies prioritize comprehensive support systems that address English learners' linguistic and emotional needs. Student agency, the capacity to set goals, make choices, and act on them, is pivotal in the instruction of English learners. When English learners have agency, they are empowered to take ownership of their learning, fostering self-determination and a sense of voice. This is particularly important for English learners grappling with cultural and linguistic barriers. By encouraging student agency, educators help English learners develop the confidence to express their thoughts and ideas, even when their English proficiency is still developing. This can lead to increased engagement, motivation, and resilience. Moreover, cultivating student agency supports English learners in becoming independent, lifelong learners who can advocate for themselves and navigate diverse academic and social contexts effectively. In practical terms, this might involve giving English learners choices in their learning activities, encouraging them to set personal language goals, and providing opportunities for self-reflection and self-assessment, all of which contribute to a more inclusive and empowered educational experience. Arizona's approved research-based structured English immersion models include several distinct components, each designed to cater to the diverse needs of English learners. The newcomer model is intended for recently arrived English learners with limited or no English proficiency, providing an intensive self-contained English language development program for a short period, typically 1 year, before transitioning students to mainstream classrooms. The pull-out model involves English learners being temporarily removed from their regular classrooms for specialized English language instruction, usually in small groups focusing on developing foundational English skills. The 2-hour model integrates English language development into the regular school day, with English learners receiving 2 hours of explicit language instruction alongside their core academic subjects. Lastly, the 50-50 dual language immersion model, which requires a parental waiver, balances instruction equally between English and the student's native language. This model promotes bilingualism and biliteracy, with students learning academic content in both languages. Each model is grounded in research and designed to support English learners' linguistic and academic growth, offering varied approaches to meet their unique learning needs. In Arizona, determining eligibility for the English Learner Program begins with the Home Language Survey, a questionnaire completed by parents or guardians to identify the primary language used at home. If a language other than English is indicated, the student is administered the Arizona English Language Learner Assessment. The Arizona English Language Learner Assessment is a comprehensive English language proficiency assessment that evaluates students' listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills. Initially, the Arizona English Language Learner Assessment is used for placement purposes to determine if a student qualifies for English learning services. Students who score below a certain threshold are identified as English learners and placed in appropriate language support programs. Following initial placement, the Arizona English Language Learning Assessment is also used for annual reassessment to monitor students' progress in English proficiency. This ongoing evaluation helps educators make informed decisions about continuing or exiting students from English learning programs, ensuring that linguistic support is tailored to each student's evolving needs. During the administration of the Arizona English Language Learning Assessment, several standard accommodations are available to English learners to ensure fair and valid assessment results. These accommodations include providing individual or small group settings to minimize distractions and enhance focus. Additionally, Test administrators may read aloud or repeat test directions in English to ensure comprehension, although they cannot translate the test items themselves. English learners are also allowed extended time to complete the assessment, which can help alleviate pressure and provide adequate time for students to process and respond to questions. Furthermore, students may use bilingual glossaries or dictionaries for the reading and writing sections, allowing them to look up unfamiliar words. These accommodations aim to create a more equitable testing environment that accounts for the unique linguistic needs of English learners. Parents or guardians of English learners in Arizona have specific rights regarding their children's participation in English learning services. One of the fundamental rights is the right of refusal for program placement. This means that parents can decline enrollment in any English learning program if they believe it is unsuitable for their child. Additionally, parents have the right to refuse or request alternative English language proficiency assessments, such as the Arizona English Language Learning Assessment, if they have concerns about the test's appropriateness or accuracy for their child. It is essential for schools to inform parents about these rights and to provide clear explanations of the available English learning programs and assessments. This ensures that parents can make well-informed decisions that align with their child's educational needs and goals. This presentation highlighted the importance of structured English immersion models and various strategies to support English learners in diverse classrooms. Key points included the different structured English immersion models, such as pull-out, push-in, and co-teaching, each with its unique approach to delivering language support. Additionally, the presentation emphasized effective English learning strategies like scaffolding, using visual aids, and promoting peer interaction. Teachers are encouraged to continue exploring these models and strategies to serve their English learning students better. Now, the floor is open for any questions or further discussion on how we can best support our diverse classroom learners. Thank you for coming to my presentation.